Hey everybody! In this video, I want to show you how to use a material that I kind of just discovered. It has been around for a while, but I'm a late bloomer, so I picked it up by accident because I thought I was buying gel medium one day, and I bought the entire gallon of it. But what it turned out to be is it's pouring medium, and I'm like, well, what the heck is pouring medium? But I soon discovered that it's something you can also mix with acrylic paint, or it's not that great to collage with because the consistency of it is a little bit more, I don't know, slippery. But it does really well with mixing with acrylic, but it's also great for sinking in glitter and using as an embellishment alternative if you don't want to use gem tack and you don't want to place beads down one at a time or embellishment items down one at a time, using the stick with the, picking up the embellishment and putting it down on the gem tack dot like I've shown you in other videos. If you just want to cover a big area with a lot of embellishments, not super heavy ones, but just, little beads or little pieces of glitter, this stuff works great. I started using it on a piece that I'm going to show you today. But I used it in just a little section, and the section that I worked on had glitter that had already been glued down and dried, but I wanted something extra. I wanted another layer of something, I don't know, more fun. So I just poured it on top of my dried glitter. And I put I just poured the embellishments right in, the beads right in there, and it worked. You have to let it dry overnight, but it dried crystal clear, and everything is sunk in there and secure. So I couldn't have been more happy. So I'm just like, well, now if I have large areas and I don't want to do the one at a time embellishment bead process, I'll just use pouring medium. It kind of works like an epoxy resin would work. If you've ever worked with epoxy resin, you know that that's something you pour in. You can sink objects into it. It goes down to the bottom, and it overnight takes like maybe 48 to 72 hours to cure all the way, but it dries crystal clear and it looks like glass. It looks amazing. But resin, art resins, any kind of epoxy resins have a really bad smell, and they're very toxic to work with. And yeah, once you pour it down, you have to evacuate the area because you can't breathe that stuff in. You got to wear a mask, you got to wear gloves. When it gets on stuff, it's like permanent. So I wanted something that was had the same clear effect, but was a little more flexible, a little more fluid, a little less toxic to breathe. So I just went and tried the pouring medium for exactly what it says. It's to pour. So it turned out really good. One thing, I'm going to go through some things that I'm using to make this process a little easier. And depending on what you're wanting to embellish, the colors and everything, you want to select your embellishment materials accordingly. But going back to the pouring medium, something that I found is very helpful is to put it in like a little tube like this. And this is a bottle with a tip. And I got this at the Dollar Tree, actually. Sometimes they have them more around like the summer when they're selling their barbecue stuff. But any kitchen supply company or in the kitchen area at the Dollar Tree, they have these. And or you can order a few from Amazon. It's just really great to keep. If you're doing paint pouring, you can mix your medium and your acrylic in here and make some fun colors, and just has that little thing on the top so you can seal it up and it doesn't dry out. So it's great. Since I'm doing a skull today, I picked out different shades of silver, some with a little gold and black. I really love this stuff. It's called Glass Glitter, and I got it at Michael's. It's from a company called Recollections, but it's really awesome. It's kind of like little pieces of broken glass, and it shines a little bit like glitter, but it doesn't have like the super disco-y, reflection. It looks like beautiful pieces of gold rock. And it's perfect for a skull. So that's what I'm going to use today. I'm also using, and it comes in black too. It comes in other colors, but I just have silver and black. It also has a little bit of a gold tint. You can also get it in a more gold, but I really like this kind of goldish silver. I'm also using what I call it jumbo glitter. It's these big chunky pieces of glitter. I think it's called chunky glitter actually. This is black with a little bit of AB, Aurora Borealis, iridescent black. I'm also using kind of like this champagne-y silver gold jumbo glitter. And I like to always have fine glitter on hand too, so I can get in all the nooks and crannies of what I'm working on. Extra fine glitter. Again, all these things you can get at Michael's or order online. What else? Little jar of water just to put your dirty brush in. I have a little flat brush and an embellishment stick just to push my materials around into all the right places. And you can also, if you don't have an embellishment or a manicure stick, it's a manicure stick. If you don't have one of these, you can just use a toothpick or like a kebab stick, or even just the tip of a pencil would probably work too. And a towel just on hand, paper towels, just to kind of clean up the mess. I'm using seed beads too. These little guys, these are fun. And just a mix of different things, because we want different textures. We want it to be interesting. So those are the materials. I'm gonna flip the camera over and show you what I've been working on, what's already done and dried, and I'm gonna start doing step by step the area I'm working on today. So that's pretty much it. Okay, this is the piece that I'm going to work on for the demonstration, and it's one that has come quite a way so far, but I wanted to show you this one spot in particular, this flower. And you can see there's a lot of beautiful variation within it. There are areas of light and dark that we achieved with paint and glitter, but there's also, if you can look above the glitter, there's also these beads that I have quote unquote sunk in with the pouring medium. So I could run my finger right across it and it's in there permanently. It's not going anywhere, it's not coming off, and it just really went into the right places, and I think it just adds another layer of beauty and dimensionality. So I want to show you in this area, I have the skull and I have my beads, I have different shades of blacks and grays, and some of it just has a little bit of gold in it, which I like, just a tint. And I'm going to go in the dark areas first. And one thing I should mention is when you're pouring the medium, you need a border or a barrier to keep the liquid from spreading out everywhere. And I've done that with these bugle beads. As you can see, these long ones that go in a line, and I keep them pretty tight so the liquid pouring medium doesn't seep out. So you have to outline your item first and then put the pouring medium in. But right here, I'm going to do the nose first, because you can see that the whole nose has been outlined in this dark silver. So now I'm just going to take this and I'm going to pour it into the area. You don't want to put so much that it overflows. You just maybe 3/4 the area. And I'm going to take my brush and just kind of push it to the edges. Just enough that it's not spilling over, but it's barely kissing the edge of the border of beads that I have. Okay, so I put the pouring medium in that one section. I'm going to work in small sections so it's not so overwhelming and it's easier to explain. But I'm going to use this. This is glass glitter. This is something that I purchased at Michael's. And it's glitter, but it's this right here, that if you can zoom in on that part, yeah, you can see. It looks like little pieces of broken glass, and it probably is. But it really looks pretty because it's not like super shiny, and it has that kind of that dull
depth, kind of highs and lows.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a little bit, if you're not sure, always just put a little bit in the cap to start with. You can always add more, but that keeps you from dumping accidentally the entire thing into your projects. And I'm just gonna shake it into the area that I have. And it's gonna start spreading out on its own. Maybe a little bit more. Sometimes I'll tap the canvas just to kind of get it to move around a little bit. You can also mix in something else. I'm gonna mix in this jumbo glitter. It has a little bit of AB to it, Aurora Borealis, the pink and red, or pink and green. And it's kind of nice and flat. And I'm just gonna tap it around in the other spots. And then I'm gonna take my manicure stick and I'm just gonna push them into place, push them around. And some will stick and some won't, but if you push them down, it should make contact with that pouring medium. And I think that's good for that spot. So it takes overnight to dry super clear for it to look like that and give you that glossy sheen and that kind of like it's suspended in glass look. So I'm gonna let that sit overnight, but I'm also gonna go in these areas and pop in some silver tones. Okay, so I did the nose area and now I'm just going to go into this section and put some silver, maybe some darker glitter in this area. I'm gonna put the dark glitter down first, so I'm just gonna put more of the pouring medium, just a few drops there in this spot. I'm gonna take the same brush that I used before and just smooth it out just where I want the dark glitter. Some in there too. Maybe I'll hit up these spots since I have a little extra. Okay, I'm gonna use fine glitter for these spots. This is extra fine. And I'm gonna use the shaker bit just where I put the pouring medium. And that's pretty good. I'm gonna tap it. And I could clear this out and, you know, blow it out and get the extra glitter off, but I'm actually just gonna leave it and let it become part of the background. I'm gonna put more pouring medium into place. Okay, and you can use the brush again to kind of like push it into the spots that you want. And it's pretty thick right here, as you can maybe see. I'm gonna move the camera in a little bit. I'm just gonna work in this little section because I need it to be thick. And I'm gonna use the glitter glass, this stuff. And I'm gonna mix it up though this time. I'm gonna put a little bit of this. And as it hits that pouring medium, it starts to spread a little on its own and move. And even if it spreads over into that black, that's okay. I kind of like that actually. Put a little bit of this. And I'm gonna switch it up and I'm going to use jumbo glitter, or confetti glitter this is called. This is called Chunky Champagne. So it has a little bit of silverish gold to it. And I'm just gonna tap it into those areas that I didn't go into. I just like to mix up my textures. Just makes for a more interesting composition overall. And then I have a little bit of silver fine, extra fine glitter. And I'm gonna use the shaker end and hit up those other areas and just really make sure I get everything covered now. Okay. And I forgot about this little spot here. This is black. And I'm going to use my glass glitter. Just pour it into that little spot. Give your canvas a tap so things can spread and hop into place. And along with the nose area, that's going to dry overnight. But I'm going to go over the rest of the skull, and I'm just going to put it into time lapse, so for the sake of time. All right. So this is the next day. The skull is looking great. All of the embellishments sunk into the pouring medium quite well. I have a few more spots to get to here that I missed, but overall, I'm very happy with the way it turned out. It looks great. It is pretty solid. Like, there's no loose pieces. If there are, I'm just taking a brush, a wide dry brush, and sweeping it away, cleaning it up. There's a few places I need to clean up on this piece overall, but I think it turned out good. All right, so that's it. That's how to use pouring medium to sink your embellishments or add embellishments to your composition. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, comment, and show me what you're working on. Send me images. All right, take care, everybody. Bye.